Tonight on the HPT, we're at the Ameristar East Chicago, where over 500 entrants generated a prize pool of nearly $750,000. We started with 9, now we're down to 6. Going out in 9th place was 39-year-old insurance actuary and family man Phil Russo. In late position, Phil shoved all in with 10-5 suited in clubs. Mike Kamenjarin woke up with ace-jack in the big and called. Outflopped and unable to catch up, Phil's 9th place finish was worth just over $14,000, which he plans to put towards his kids' college fund. Going out in 8th place was 28-year-old poker player and Buffalo, New York native DJ McKinnon. Short stack, he re-raised all in with a suited ace on the button against the king, jack, and monster stack of Nick Davidson. DJ maintained the lead after the flop, but lost the lead when Nick paired his jack on the turn. With no help on the river, DJ was sent to the rail with more than $18,000. Our 7th place finisher needs no introduction. He's the 2004 World Champion, 4-time HPT champion, and 2012 HPT Player of the Year, the fossil man himself, Greg Raymer. Flopping bottom pair in the nut flush draw, Greg re-raised all in against Kevin Saul's top pair, but with blanks on the turn and river, Greg walked away with just over $22,000. Now we're down to our final 6 players. There's nearly $500,000 on the line, and it all starts right now on the HPT.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson, alongside my good pal, Mr. Kenna James. Kenna, it's great to see you. How are you?
Fantastic. Great to be here in East Chicago.
One of my favorite stops here on the HPT. We're at the Ameristar Casino Hotel, East Chicago, and let's first and foremost talk about this prize pool. Almost $730,000. Our champion tonight will go home with $166,806.
That's fantastic. To play for a 6-figure payday in just 3 days, wonderful.
Now we have 6 players at our final table and a few notable players.
Yeah, how about Kevin Saul? I mean, this guy's a long-standing pro. I'm really looking forward to his technique and how he operates on the table tonight.
I'm looking forward to seeing Kenny win. He's always flashy. He's a sharp dresser. He's always smiling, joking around, and he told me off camera he thinks tonight is the night he'll become our next HPT champ.
Wait a minute, how about Levant? She's the last woman standing in this tournament. It's always great to see women come out and play in our events and do well, make the final table. Maybe she'll take home the bracelet.
Well, I said we have 6 players, so let's meet the other 3 because I think they want to take down this title as well. We'll take a look at their chip counts, but most importantly, let's take a peek at the prize pool.
The players fighting for that first place prize of $166,806 on down to 6th place, guaranteed a minimum $27,198.
Kevin Saul with just over 5 million chips, Nick right behind him, and then Matt, Mike, Levant, and Kenny. So we have our final 6 players here. A huge number up top, $166,806. You just mentioned it. Somebody will leave here. One of these men or women will be a very happy camper when this thing's over. Let's go to Levant. The last woman standing in this tournament looks down at 7-5. She's going to fold.
Yeah, it's great to see more women come out and play in our tournaments and then make the final table and do well.
Action over to the 9 seed here of Kenny Wynn. Looks down at ace-4. This is his 3rd HPT final table, so he knows what he's doing. He's also final tabled a WPT event.
And he's got only 12 big blinds here, but he elects just to raise instead of shove here to about $140,000, it looks like.
Action over to the 1 seed of Kevin. He quickly folds. Now over to the dentist. That's Nick Davidson in the 2 seed. He's 32 years old from Detroit, Michigan, the mean streets of Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, he's going to try and give Kenny a cavity here.
Looks like he's one of the best dressed players here at this final table. He's got that look down, the professional poker player, the cool, laid-back dentist/poker player. Let's go to the flop. Ace, 6-5. They're all spades.
Absolutely. Nick with a flush draw here, albeit a small one with just the 3 of spades. Kenny with top pair here. I expect him to shove.
Kenny just going to make a bet here of $185,000. Nick a little confused, I think, by that.
You don't see it, though. He's got a good poker face. You see how steady he is there?
Got to be steady if you're holding that drill. He's a dentist.
You can breathe, Kenny.
It's a good fold. I like that.
I have it.
You do not have it.
Yeah, why
You're
not?
like, please don't raise me. Please don't raise me.
And he's going to win the first hand of the night, smiling like he always does. He's a talker at the table. He'll talk the entire night, will be my prediction.
Yeah. Well, if he's here the entire night, we'll see how long. He's on the short stack. He's going to have to, step up the game, keep in flow, and keep things going to build that chip stack and get back into this tournament.
Action on Kevin Saul here in the 1 seat. He's going to raise to $135,000 with his 9-7.
And you can see that mountain of chips in front of him. And just to give perspective for our viewers at home, those blue chips are the king chips. They are worth $100,000 a piece. The tan are $25,000, and those gray, a lot of the players have a lot of them, are with $5,000 a piece. Over to Cam on the button, who just calls with ace deuce of clubs.
Cam is his nickname. Mike is his first name. We can't pronounce his last name.
It's a long one.
We're going to call him Cam tonight. And we're heads up to the flop. Cam and Kevin. This episode of the HPT brought to you by the letter K. Ace deuce 9-7.
It wouldn't fit on the back of a football jersey. It's that long.
2 trays and a 9. Kevin gets the best of it. He checks over to Cam. Cam's going to check back as well. Head of the turn card now. It's the King of Hearts. Kevin's going to check again. Kevin with just 2 pair 9s and trays over to Cam. Kevin does have the best of it, though, with his 2 pair.
Looks like Cam is going to take a stab at a bluff here on the turn and represent the king.
Cam's 48 years old, from the Chicagoland area, $190,000 in career earnings, just 1 buy-in. Kevin's going to make the call with his 2 pair here, and we will go to the river with a pot of 730,000 chips. That river card is the queen of clubs, so Kevin has the best hand, and he's going to check it once again to Cam.
I'd expect Cam to check it back here with both draws missing hearts and diamonds. It's very unlikely that a bluff is going to get through here, but he's going to try it.
225,000. I don't think that's going to be enough for Kevin to fold his hand.
Not with his chip stack. This is really a player read situation for Kevin here, and
he's going to fold.
And I think Cam's image really won this pot for him.
All right, well, we're just getting started here on the HPT as we broadcast from the Ameristar Casino Hotel East Chicago. Time to step aside for a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the HPT. I'm James Larson alongside Kenneth James as we broadcast from the Ameristar Casino Hotel East Chicago. And Kenna, I don't know what it is about this area, but it's always a huge prize pool. No exception this week, $728,868.
Always nice to play for big prize money.
Action over to Cam. How do you like that shirt? It's kind of hard for TV.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of lions there.
Well, if you haven't made a lot of TV final tables, you don't get the memo. Wear black, red, solid colors. You want to look good when you get on TV.
It might be his lucky shirt. You never know. Cam's going to raise it up to $140,000.
More important than looking good, though, is playing good.
Absolutely.
Let's get it in order of priority here.
Action over to Matt with the pocket deuces. He's going to make the call. He's a software developer, 28-year-old. And now over to Nick, the dentist, with the pocket trays.
Very interesting hand developing here. 2 with tiny pairs and ace-9 of diamonds. Let's see, I expect Nick to call here for set value, trying to flop a set over to Levon.
Now Levon looks like she's going to defend here. She's got 10-6. Why not see a flop, huh?
Well, she's going for pot odds here, and you can see she's got a 31% chance in a 4-player pot, so she does have equitable value here.
Well, let's go to the flop, and look at this. 10-6-5, a couple of spades, a great flop for Levon. She flops 2 pair.
Certainly has.
Nick checks. Now, I mentioned a couple other players' ages. I won't do that to Levon, the lone female at the table. I promise you that. And she got into this event, Kenna, for just $750, and she's going to bet $300,000.
Going to be a wise investment. And it looks like this is probably going to just take it down right here. Well done, Levon.
Wow, Levon, give her a round of applause as she drags that pot. She was born in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. Just $4,000 in total career earnings. So you look at 6th place money right now is just over $27,000. But if she can turn this $750 qualifier into $166,000, it might be the greatest ROI in HPT history.
And we've read that she's a psychologist too, which is great because poker, I feel poker is a game of the mind. And it's great to see people like her come out
absolutely
in our events.
All right, action over to Kevin. Looks down at pocket 9s. He's going to raise to $140,000.
Nick looks down at a junky 8-5, a little bit of a smile, and he folds his hand. Now over to Levant on the button. She's going to fold. And now to the man with the plaid shirt. We call him Cam, and he's got 2 4s.
And looks like he's going to call for set value. Try and peel off one of those 4s. It's about, for those viewers at home that don't know, about a 7.5, an 8-1 underdog to flop a 4. But if you do, usually make a lot of money.
Go heads up now. 9s in the 4s, and the flop is 8-7 deuce. Couple of spades. Cam will be first to act, and he's going to check over to Kevin, and that's a pretty good flop for Kevin's 9s.
Well, absolutely. He's now got the overpair, and this is the tough part when you don't make a set. You're not sure if your opponent has the 2 big cards and your hand is still good, or if you're dominated.
Cam's going to make the call. Ace of hearts now comes on the turn. Could slow both players down a little bit. Action will start with Cam. He's going to check. We'll see if Kevin decides to put a bet out here. And he's going to check back. So both players check that ace of hearts on the turn. And we go to the river. It's the 7 of diamonds. So the best hand is Kevin's 9s and 7s. But Cam will be first to act. And he's going to check.
And I don't know if Kevin is really going to look for value here, because there's really not many hands that he will bet and get called by. Maybe an 8. So he is going to look for what we call taking someone to value town.
300,000 is the bet.
I'd be very shocked if Cam pays off here.
And it looks like he might be making this call. And he's going to do just that. And he's going to see the bad news. His 2 pair are beat. Kevin's 9s and 7s will take down that pot of 1.2 million chips, just over that amount, 1.250. And a nice pop there for Kevin. So he did seek value, and he got it.
He did, and I think it's because the missed flush draw and that he checked the ace. So Cam didn't give him credit for the ace and gave him really maybe a missed flush draw, and that's why he paid him off.
You're watching exclusive final table coverage here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel East Chicago. This is the HPT. I'm James Larson alongside Ken and James. We're the James Gang.
Great to be here, settled up next to you once again. Really exciting action here on the HBT. Great value.
Absolutely.
Really deep stack poker. And these players going through hundreds of players just to get to this point.
Can I slow roll you for TV? You be okay with that?
Well, let's see what he does have here, Ken. And he doesn't have aces, but he's got ace-queen, and that's going to be good enough to make the call, ladies and gentlemen. And Kenny's going to see the bad news.
3-2, but yeah, you can see he's a little nervous standing up.
Yeah, but he's always smiling. That's the Kenny win we know. He's always got a smile on his face. The flop is ace, jack, 7, couple of hearts.
Nothing changed.
Well, Kevin says nothing changed, but he went from a 37% to 19% as we go to the turn.
Turn card is the 5 of hearts, so Kenny's going to need some help or he will be eliminated. Looks like he's holding his heart there.
Grab and hold. With 1 card to come, your tournament life on the line as we go to the river.
And that river card is the 9 of clubs, so that's going to do it. Kevin wins the hand, and that'll do it for Kenny Wynn. He'll be eliminated in 6th place, going home with just over $27,000.
Nice payday for the young man who's been an HBT regular. Good to see.
When we come back, we'll have more exciting final table action. You're watching the HPT. We're broadcasting from the Ameristar Casino Hotel East Chicago. James Larson alongside Ken and James, and our champion tonight. Well, a whole lot of cashola on the line. $166,806 for your winner. Man, that's a lot of money, brother.
Sounds like $1 million to me right now.
Kevin's going to raise it up to $180,000. Now action over to Nick. Looks down at a junky 4 deuce. That's a hand that not even a mother can love. Hold it around to Levant. She's on the button with ace tray of clubs.
Looking to get involved with her position on the button.
Wow, and she's gonna repop it. She's gonna go up to $400,000.
Yeah, maybe she's picked something up here on Kevin. A slight tell, like he wasn't that interested in his hand and was just betting his position. And now repopping him. I love her instincts here.
That, or maybe she just loves the ace tray, suited in clubs. Maybe it's her favorite hand.
Well, we're talking maybes. Let's find out what the facts bring as we go to the flop.
Kevin makes the call, so heads up, Levant and Kevin. And the flop, 2 jacks and a deuce.
Now, this should go check, bet, fold.
Kevin checks. No continuation there. She's just going to check.
Well, that's interesting.
Turn card now, 4 of clubs. So the club draw coming in for Levon here. Action on Kevin.
Yeah, now Kevin, sensing weakness, might take over the lead here and lead in with a bet. But I don't think Levon's going to go anywhere. Now she's picked up the nut flush draw. She's got a gut shot straight draw, and she moves all in.
She's going to move all in. Wow, I love it. Over 1.4 million chips for Kevin to make the call, and he just says, huh?
Well, it gives him a little confusion here, her play. Look at that.
Look at that smile. I love having Levon here at this final table. She's from Grand Rapids, Michigan, trying to take down her first title.
Turn a club draw.
I did. And a gut shot straight draw.
Wow. Revealing
She's telling
what
everything. She's
Yeah.
maybe telling too much here early on. These guys, you got to remember, Levon, you're swimming with the sharks here. These guys know how to play poker. Don't give them too much info.
No free info.
All right, the dentist folds over to Levon. Looks down at 6 tray of hearts. She's going to get out of the way because she's got chips to stack from the last hand.
Good point.
Matt's got the ace deuce. We'll see if he decides to play that, and he is going to raise to 160,000.
Just grabs one of those valuable 100K blue chips and throws it in the
Yeah,
middle.
he just throws it in the middle. I thought it was a call, but no, that's a raise. And it looks like Kevin here is going to defend the big blind with a pretty decent hand. Queen, Jack.
Well, he's got position, and he's got the chips. And a halfway decent hand here. Very close as we go to the flop.
And the flop is Queen 6-5, so Kevin gets the best of it.
So important to flop to your hand. And Matt making a continuation bluff here. Let's see if Kevin elects to call or raise here. That's what's going to be interesting. How is he going to play this? Aggressive or conservative?
I think he's going to play it conservative and try to control the pot. The bet was 175,000, and Kevin makes the call. And now we go to the turn card, a pot of over 700,000 chips. It's the king of hearts now, and look at Matt spilling his chips.
That's the first expression on his face, you see, almost laughing at himself. But now gets back to managing them well. Wow, he's going to make a big bet here.
Wow, 300,000. See if Kevin can sniff this out. Matt really on total air here with his ace deuce. And Kevin's going to make the call.
Yeah, well, Kevin's got the chips to do it, and I like, if you look at his observation, he's very calm, very centered in his play. I like it.
River card is the tray of clubs. We'll see if Matt can do one more bluff here, and he's going to check. That's always tough. That last one's always the hardest.
Yeah. I expect Kevin to check it back
Absolutely.
Check.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Kevin's
checks.
going to be happy to see that his opponent just has ace high here, and Kevin's going to take down a pot of over 1.3 million chips.
A very well played hand by our professional on the table, Kevin Saul.
We've had monster turnouts all week for this Ameristar event series. The opening $300 event last week in Kenna, 1,322 entries. That, my friend, is an HPT record for field size, and I want to thank all of the poker players here in the Chicagoland area and everybody who traveled in.
Fantastic to see poker doing so well, especially HPT poker. The great value here in our tournaments. As Nick looks down at ace-jack and raises it up to 220,000.
Levon folds, as does Cam. Now action on Matt. Looks down at king, queen. The squeeze there, king, queen of clubs.
Yeah, now Matt, he's got about just over 10 big blinds. It's going to be tough for him to call. This is more of a shove type of a hand.
And I think that's what he's getting ready to do right now, Kenna. He's going to get them all in the middle. So an all-in raise with his king, queen.
And with five-handed play and with Nick's chip stack here, I expect him to make the call.
Well, you know, fighters take the gloves off. Nick, he's taking the shades off. He's ready, and I think, there he does. He does make the call, Kenna James.
Yeah, and it's going to be a close race here. Nick, slight favorite, 55-45, basically. But the difference is Matt's all in for his life as we go to the flop, James.
Ace-jack going up against king, queen. And the flop is ace, 8-6. So a great flop for Nick as he does A double fist pump there.
Yeah.
And Matt is going to need some help, my friend.
Not quite the tiger thrust in golf, but almost.
Turn card's the 8 of diamonds, and that is it. Matt's drawing dead, so he'll be eliminated, going out in 5th place with $35,175.
A nice performance right here on the HPT. Congratulations, Matt.
Welcome back to the HPT. We're broadcasting from the Ameristar Casino Hotel East Chicago. James Larson and Kenneth James. Beautiful property here, 56,000 square foot casino, 300 hotel rooms. But my favorite, they have the brand new Burger Brothers downstairs, and I checked out the shake of the day. They had apple cinnamon, marshmallow, but I stuck to vanilla, my friend.
There's a lot of vanilla chips there in Kevin Saul's stack. He's got pocket 8s on the button. He raises it up to $175,000.
Now action over to Nick, ace tray of clubs.
You know, to pick up on what you're saying, I love Chicago.
It's just...
I was born here.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great to be back.
So much going on. Chicago Cup baseball, Chicago Bears, Chicago Bulls.
Chicago.
Nick's going to make the call here. And I believe he checked in the dark is what happened there. The flop, 2 kings and an ace, couple of hearts.
He did, and Kevin checks it right back.
Nick's in the lead with his 2 pair, aces and kings. We go to the turn card, and his hand just got better, my friend.
It didn't need to. He was already in the lead, but now it's going to make him feel better because now he, relatively has the nuts, except for 4 kings, of course.
He's going to bet $100,000, and look at this. Kevin quickly makes the call.
Look at how both players have positioned their body very effectively, very centered.
River card is the tray of hearts. A little bit of a stare down there. I was getting a little uncomfortable, Kenna.
Yeah, it's like a fight. These 2 guys are fighters, and they're in position to fight. And here Kevin, Nick rather, makes a bet. It's on Kevin. And really, the only thing for Kevin to do here is to raise as a bluff or to fold.
Wow,
and
does.
he's going to raise.
Going up to $750,000. Nick has to absolutely just love this. And he's going to just make the call. Why no re-raise there, Kenna?
Well, he doesn't. He only figures to get called if he's beat. That's why he doesn't re-raise. A small misstep by Kevin here, but I don't think it's going to hurt him too much.
A pot of almost 2.2 million chips going to the dentist in the 2 seed. His name, Nick Davidson, 32 years old, just $10,000 in career earnings. So right now, minimum cash is just under $47,000.
The big advantage that Nick has over Kevin now, well, his chips. Now, besides his chips, is his table positions. He's to his left, which gives him a huge advantage throughout the rest of the play of this shorthanded table.
He also knows how to drill a cavity. That's got to be an advantage in certain games, I'll tell you that much.
When you have a cavity, it's definitely an advantage
Right,
to know how to get rid of it. Right now, Nick is a cavity in Kevin's mouth.
Nick raises the $200,000. Kevin makes the call. So heads up between these two. I wouldn't call them friends, I guess.
They're opponents.
They're opponents right now. The flop 8-4 deuce. It's a rainbow. Kevin pairs his 8. Kevin really wanted to see that 8 on the last hand. However, had he saw it, he would have probably been broke.
Yeah. Well, here now Kevin flopping top pair, setting the trap for his opponent to bet. And sure enough, Nick's going to step right in it and make a bet of $200,000.
Action over to Kevin, who's got the best of it. You see the percentages there. Kevin pairs his 8.
Kevin in this spot has traditionally just called rather than raise and allow his opponent to continue to keep bluffing if he's bluffing, and if he's behind, he minimizes his loss.
Turn card now is the queen of clubs, and Kevin is going to check. Nick with a gutter ball straight draw here. He needs a jack.
Yeah, I think Nick should check it back here and take the free card.
Take the free card, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's reaching for chips, and it's a big bet. It's a $500,000, Kenna.
This is putting pressure on your opponent to continue.
And now Kevin reaching for chips. He's going to make the call. Interesting hand.
Yes, it is. Kevin not going anywhere, sensing that he has the best hand, and in fact, he does as we go to the river.
The river card, it's not a jack, it's the ace of hearts. So Kevin's got the 100% mark after his name. He's going to check over to Nick. We'll see if Nick decides to throw a big bluff out here.
This would be a 3-barrel bluff, bluffing on 3 streets. Very tough to do,
It's
and he
tough
can't
to do,
pull the
and
trigger.
He's not going to do it. It's so hard to do. And Kevin's going to win that hand, and a decent pot, about 1.8, almost 1.9 million chips. But yeah, that's just hard to do. Put that last bluff out there. Not an easy thing.
You know, Kevin's a great player. He may have sniffed it out, so probably wise for him to give up in the long run there.
We started with over 500. Now we are down to our final 4, and Cam is going to get his chips all in the middle with his ace-10. Action over to Kevin. He looks down at 9-4. He quickly folds. Nick, queen-8. Almost 700,000 for him to make the call. He would love to eliminate another player here at this final table to get it down to just 3-handed, but he's going to fold. Let's see if Levon can wake up with a hand and make the call. Ace-5, that might be good enough.
640,000. It's really in relationship to her chip stack, and that's what she's counting out right now to see if there's value in calling this.
And she is going to make the call, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to see that she's behind.
Yeah.
Ace-10 for Cam, ace-5 for Levon.
She thought maybe she had enough value. She doesn't see much value in her hand now.
Kinda
Almost looks defeated as we
rolling
go
her
to the
eyes a
flop.
little bit. The flop, ace-jack-7.
Levon only 11% chance to win this hand and knock out Cam. Cam happy to get to the finish line.
Turn card now is the 5 of spades.
Oh!
And just like that, Levon gets lucky on the turn.
Wow, that vaults her out of her seat. And
Wow. And look at those percentages switch. Unbelievable.
from worst to first.
Keep in mind, Cam is all in. The 4 of diamonds not going to help his hand. He will be eliminated. And look, he's a little shocked.
I would be too, but that's the fate of poker. It turns on the turn of a card.
Good catch.
You're watching the HPT from the Ameristar Casino Hotel East Chicago. James Larson alongside Kenna James. And Kenna, our final 3 players, they're all at one end of the table, too. I love it when it works out this way. Our camera guys do, too, let me tell you that.
And yeah, they're crammed down to the final 3, and action really going to heat up now.
Whoa, look at this. Kevin raises to 200,000, but Nick wakes up with pocket jacks. We'll see how he decides to play these.
Yeah, you know, 3-handed, I wouldn't mind flatting here, but he takes the fast route, puts in a pretty good-sized raise. Re-raises to 550,000. Action back to Kevin.
Levon quickly gets out of the way, and now Kevin just with
1.3.
7-5 here on the button. Wow, a re-raise to 1.3 million. I love it.
Well, he's not going to love it because
No, he's not going to love it at all.
But, you know, for those people at home, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to define your hand early in the hand in case your opponent is making a play, but Nick's not going to have anything of it. He moves all in with his pocket jacks, and this hand's going to end pretty quickly now.
Kevin's not going to like this at all. He's going to have to fold his hand, and that's what happens. Nick, the dentist, Nick Davidson, 32-year-old from Detroit, Michigan, wants to say hi to his wife, Farah. It's his first final table. By the way, I didn't mention this before. You know how much money he's got invested in this thing?
How much?
$375. I love success stories like that. By the way, if you want to play right here on the national stage, check out the website, hptpoker.com. Levon's got a real hand here, ace-jack.
Ace-jack of diamonds on the button.
Right.
This is huge. This is like 2 aces when you're 3-handed. She's getting out some raising chips.
She sure is, and she's going to raise it up to $250,000. Kevin looks down at queen 6. He'll quickly get out of the way, and now over to the dentist. Looks down at 9-8.
And all these players, decent chip stacks here. It's very important, you know. Well over 40 big blinds for 2 of them. Levon right around 40 big blinds. So
They're all pretty close. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, rough math, like 50 for Kevin, 59, 58 for Nick, and then Levon with like 40, 41. So, I mean, it's pretty close. The flop here, king, jack, trey, couple of hearts.
and Nick flopping a 4 flush. Levon with second pair. See, now Kevin in this spot would check it. Levon going to make a continuation bet. And this might get her in trouble if Nick decides to power play this semi-bluff and raise, which is how I would play it. I would check raise in this spot.
The bet was 300,000. Now
And
we're going to
he
go up
does.
to 800,000. We'll see what Levon decides to do here.
See, this puts her in such a tough spot. Instead of, you know, just checking behind now. Ooh, but she's not going anywhere.
No, she's not. That's a re-raise up to 1.3 million, my friend.
Wow. We've got players betting, raising, re-raising with 9 high and second pair. This is poker, ladies and gentlemen.
And now an all-in
Wow.
re-raise by Nick. Unbelievable.
A bet, a raise, a re-raise, a shove all in. Can she make the call this time?
I'm gonna fold. I guess you have the king.
She's going to fold. Unbelievable. Give credit to Nick there.
Yeah, well, Nick, that's the power of the semi-bluff. When, bluffing with outs. And that's why when you have a marginal hand like Levon did in that spot, you don't want to let the pot get away from you. You want to control the size of the pot, as you were saying earlier.
Lines are 50,000, 100,000 with a 10K ante. We're at the Ameristar Casino Hotel, East Chicago. And, man, we're seeing some great, exciting poker tonight. Kevin's going to raise it up to 200,000. Now over to Nick. Looks down at pocket eights.
Wow, Nick certainly getting the hands. And he has the position, and he has the chip. So a lot of things going his way.
He might have a headache, though. It looks like maybe he needs a couple of Advil. He's holding his forehead. He's going to make the call, and Levon does as well. So it's a family pot. All 3 players come along for the ride.
Well, Levon really needing to make something happen now after losing that major pot.
The flop is 9-5 tray, couple of hearts. So Nick still in the lead here with his eights. He's going to check over to Levon. She checks. We'll see if Kevin decides to throw some chips out there. He's not going to.
He's covering up.
Go to that turn card. Look at this, the 8 of spades. So Nick's hand just got better. He now makes a set of 8s, and he's reaching for chips.
Well, here's a spot where he could elect to check and try and trap his opponents, but he's going to play it straight forward.
Levon is going to fold. Now Kevin with a gutter ball straight draw. Just 17% there. You can see the percentages on your screen. It's 375,000 for him to make the call, and he's going to do it.
I think he's going to make this call because the players are so deep, meaning that if he pulls off this straight, he could really win a big pot.
Go to the river card now. It's the jack of spades.
Well, now Kevin in a tough spot here, rivering top pair.
Action on Nick. He's got the best hand there with his set of 8s, and he's going to make a bet. Look at this, 750,000 and an insta call by Kevin, and he's going to see the bad news.
Yeah, he's a professional. He's just going to pay it off and move on to the next hand. But maybe that call on the turn was a little bit too optimistic.
Real quick, I want to thank all of the fantastic dealers that have helped us out here the last couple of weeks at the Ameristar Casino Hotel East Chicago. So many players have gone in and out, and they've accommodated everybody as well as the floor staff. So we thank you for all of your hard work. Look at this. Nick waking up with a big old hand. Pocket aces.
Nick now getting out some raising chips.
I'm all in.
It's going to raise.
Wow, Levon moves all in on a 3-bet. Nick quickly calls.
She kind of laughs about it. She realizes, well, it wasn't the best time to do that. I kind of ran my hand right into the buzzsaw.
Twice now she's done it against Nick as we go to the flop.
Not over yet. The flop is king, queen, 4, couple of clubs. Levon taking a swig there of her coffee.
Sensing it might be over. Still an 8% chance to the turn we go.
Pot of just under 4 million chips here. Turn card now is the 7 of spades, so still a chance.
Yeah, it's brought up her percentage to 12%. A miracle.
Let's see if Nick's hand can hold up here. If not, Levon will be eliminated. It's the 4 of spades, and that is going to do it. The last woman standing will exit this final table, but she'll go home with $67,595.
Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson, Kenneth James, as we're about to play Heads Up Poker right here on the HPT, coming to you from the Ameristar Casino Hotel East Chicago. We've got Nick and we've got Kevin. It's going to be like a professional boxing match.
It really is, James. I'm excited to see how this plays out because we've got Kevin Saul, who's got the technique. He's the professional at the table, versus Nick Davidson, the dentist. But he's got a 2-to-1 chip advantage that's significant, and he's playing great.
Between first and second, it's over $250,000 in play. Second place will take home just over $100,000, and for first, it's just shy of $167,000. But they're also playing for that coveted title of our newest HPT champion.
And along with that bracelet that's sitting in the center of that pile of cash as well.
Can't forget about that. Kevin raises the 200,000. Nick makes the call, and this is the first hand of heads-up poker here on the HPT. The flop is 8-6-5.
And this is what I was saying earlier, James, that so much of poker is how well you flop to your hand.
Absolutely. Turn card, another 8, this time the 8 of hearts.
Kevin started with such a nice premium hand, but Nick's out-flopped him. It went check on the flop, and now Nick leads in on the turn for 250,000.
Bet is 250, and Kevin makes the call there.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. There's still a lot of marginal hands that he beats, like king, queen, jack, things like that. So that's why I think he's looking him up here.
And the river card, another 8, the 8 of spades, so action on Nick here. And he's going to bet 500,000 chips.
I would be shocked to see Kevin call here.
No choice but to bluff, huh?
This would be a very long call. You can see he takes off the headphones. He's going to try and get some type of read over his opponent.
And he is going to make the call, Kenna.
Yeah, he makes the wrong read here. That's going to hurt a little bit.
Wow.
You know, when you make the call with only ace high, that hero call, you want to be the hero. And when you come out the villain, it's not a really good feeling.
Nick Davidson trying to win his first HPT title, 32-year-old. He's a dentist from Troy, Michigan. Just $10,000 in total career winnings, so obviously he's going to pad that 10X here no matter where he finishes, 10X or more. We'll start with Kevin, who's got the sideways cap going now. Looks down at king, queen.
Well, looks like he's rolled up his sleeves and ready to go to work.
He's just going to make the call there with king, queen. Now the option, pocket fours for Nick. He's going to raise things up.
Wow, real quick.
Yeah.
All in and a call. And you're going to see it's like a coin flip.
Yeah, pocket fours for Nick, going up against the 2 overcards for Kevin.
Man, that's a lot to flip for.
We go to the flop right there. It's a queen, 9-8. They're all clubs. Great flop for Kevin.
Absolutely, and you can see now a 96% favorite as we go to the turn. Man, Kevin really needs this.
And that turn card is the 5 of diamonds. And with those clubs out there, even the 4 of clubs, that won't help Nick, so he's drawn to 1 card in the deck.
Yeah, that's right. So now he's down to only 2%. And need is not even the right word. Is Kevin survives with a queen on the river, doubles up and stays in the tournament.
And the crowd goes wild. Kevin's not celebrating. He's all business. This is how many chips I have. Put them in the middle, and let's move on to the next hand.
That's exactly what I was saying, James.
Yeah.
He's rolled up his sleeves. He's ready to get to work.
Yeah, and he's got a championship to win, and that's what he wants to do. We're so glad you're with us here on the HPT. Looks like a wardrobe malfunction there.
Now the sleeves come back on. What's going on?
Kevin looks at 8-4.
Oh, boy, I'm not sure I like this look.
Now action over to Dr. Davidson. Looks down at Queen Deuce. And he's just going to check his option. 2 players remain. We started with 506 total entries, a prize pool of almost $730,000. And now it's heads up. Queen, 10-8, couple of diamonds. That's the flop.
Nick flopping top pair and checking it now. This could get a lot of action as Kevin has flopped a flush draw and a pair.
Kevin's going to bet $150,000.
Look at the percentages of these 2 players. It's very, very close.
And Nick hits his queen. Kevin hits an 8, but he's got the diamonds to raise to $450,000. So another $300,000 for Kevin to make this call.
Kevin could move all in here,
I was
too.
thinking the same thing.
But he doesn't. He elects to just call. Nothing wrong with that play either.
Going to make the call and chew on his jacket a little bit more there as we go to the turn card. It's not a diamond, 5 of hearts. Nick, once again, first to act.
I don't blame him. It's nerve-wracking when you're out there.
It sure is.
Especially when the other guy has got the chip lead, you know? And all the pressure is on you.
And the cameras and the lights and the studio audience and all the cash that's on the line. The bet is $900,000 by Nick.
Now Kevin in the pressure cooker.
Boy, what do you do here? I mean, it's easy. We got the whole cards, but boy, you don't want to go out on a draw either.
No, you're certainly calling off a draw. If you were to shove on a draw and it was a reasonable chance that your opponent would fold, I would say pull the trigger. But I think Kevin senses that
River card, no diamond. It's the 9 of hearts. So you see the percentages there. Nick with the check mark. A pot of almost 3 million chips. And an all-in bet.
Yeah.
Kevin with just 8s here. That's all he has. And
he's not going to call this.
no, he's not.
If he thought he had the best hand, to finish my thought from earlier, he would have raised and moved in if he thought he could have gotten his opponent off his hand, but he realized he couldn't.
Who will be our next champion? Will it be Kevin? Will it be Nick? Stay tuned. More action coming up next. You are watching the HPT. It's James Larson alongside Kenneth James here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel, East Chicago. Heads Up Poker resumes right here on the HPT.
And from our overhead cam, you could look down and see that bracelet sitting right in the middle of that pile of cash that these players are fighting for.
Yeah, the money's one thing, but the bragging rights and that bracelet, that will go to our champion. Nick's going to raise it up to $320,000. Over to Kevin now. Looks down at 9-8. Got the hat on backwards. Before the break, it was sideways. He's had his jacket pulled over his head a couple of times.
The one thing I could say to Kevin, he is a professional, but he does seem a little bit just uncomfortable or out of sorts. He's moving around a lot, the jacket up, it's in the mouth, it's out. He has great poker instincts, but he does seem a little bit more uncomfortable than his opponent.
Flop is Queen 9 tray. Kevin's going to check over to Nick, who bets $320,000. And now Kevin is going to quickly raise it up to $1.5 million.
Yeah, sensing that his second pair is good here. This is what I'm saying. Really good instincts. And his instincts here are right on the money. He's going to take home the pot.
Now, you said those things about Kevin Saul, but this guy, his poker resume is awesome. And
absolutely.
He's also a former WPT champion with over $3 million in lifetime earnings. So the guy's been around.
I'm not saying anything against his play. Great player. I'm just saying he seems today a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, his body is moving an awful lot, communicating a lot.
Could that be some kind of reverse psychology maybe that he's doing? No.
I don't read it as that. But, like I say, nothing against the guy. A great player. I'm just calling what I see.
All right, Nick's going to raise it up to $585,000.
It's like I can see one flop in this situation, and then it's just all in or fold. So is this the flop that I want to see? Oh, I guess if I see this one and win this pot, I might be able to stop you from bullying me, so...
Oh, interesting.
Kevin allowing his thoughts to leak out onto the table.
Did I just say that out loud?
I just wait.
All right, Nick with the 9-7 going up against Kevin's Queen 10. We go to the flop. They're all diamonds. Jack 9-4. A little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah, again, a really tough spot for Kevin. The favorite in the hand, 65% as you can see, but Nick now going to put the drill to it and bets him all in.
You didn't even let me say Yahtzee and move in. You just did it for me.
Kevin with a decision for his tournament life here, and I think he's going to make the call.
He said, I was going to do it anyway, but you did it for me.
Yeah.
Wow, he is really under the drill. The dentist chair, never an easy place to sit in.
Well, Kevin's got the high diamond. He's got the straight draw. He's got the overcards. I mean, he's in pretty good shape here, right?
He is the favorite, but he is currently behind.
Right, he
it's
is,
a strange situation we have.
You don't always see that. Now the turn card, this will change it up a little bit. The 5 of spades, you see those percentages now, 57-43.
Kevin's life hanging in the balance as we go to the river.
One card left, and the river card is the 7 of clubs, and that is going to do it. 2 pair for Nick. He is our new champion. The 32-year-old dentist is going to go home with the cash, the title, and the bragging rights.
And a nice little smooch there from Nick's wife. Wow, that's victory.
All right, well, congratulations to Nick, our new HPT champion. And before we talk to him, Kenna, talk about Heads Up. It was pretty one-sided. Kevin just couldn't get a whole lot of traction going.
Well, he did start as a 2-to-1 chip disadvantage, and Nick gave him no air to breathe. He really leveraged his chip position to his advantage, and the cards fell his way as well.
I will say this, it made for some good television. Very entertaining poker tonight. And now Nick joins us. First of all, Nick, congratulations to you. And tell Kenna and I, what were the keys to your success taking down your first HPT title?
The key to victory was avoiding the better players. Kevin was a great player. I was pretty much trying to avoid him the whole entire day until I had to play against him. And he was just a really good opponent. He was really putting the pressure on me when he doubled up there. He started coming back, and I felt a little heat and I actually felt a little tired. I was getting a little tired. Some of those bets are actually incorrect a little bit, but I'm just so happy to get the victory.
Thanks so much, Nick, and once again, congratulations on your newest HPT title. Now, he's going home with a whole lot of cash. Any advice on how and where he should put that money?
Well, put some in your bankroll and some in your life roll. Don't intermingle the two.
Well, congratulations, Nick, and I want to say thank you to all of the players that came out to the Chicagoland area. What a huge prize pool, and I want to thank everybody, too, at the property here, the Ameristar Casino Hotel. Now, if you're interested in playing right here on the HPT, why not give it a shot? Simply head on over to hptpoker.com, and who knows, maybe you'll be playing for the life-changing cash. For Ken and James, I'm James Larson, and we'll see you next time right here on the HPT.